Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second segment, episode 249 of Sold with Updike Pugh. I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and today we thought we'd share with you a little bit about, is the market beginning to slow down? Jeff, you and Zach did such a good job with that turtle scenario.
Zach did.
I love it. Way to go, guys. There we go. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what is happening. We've got, Jeff was able to create some dynamic links that are going to be able to show us what has happened, looks like, over the last since 2020.
3 years. Yeah, roughly 3 years.
So the first
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
So the first one we're going to look at is going to be inventory of homes for sale.
So I think that the overarching thing to answer the question that we started with is really, I don't know the market is beginning to slow. I think the market started slowing about 1.5 years ago. And we're just now, not just now, but we're seeing kind of the trend of what happened over that 14, 17-month period.
Yep. And so what we're going to do in this is we're going to start from the left-hand side because that's right-hand side because that's most recent. So in September of 2023, it looks like there were 4,645 houses for sale on the market.
And then as you start backing up, let's go back 1 year, and then we'll go back to September of 2022. You can see there were 4,512. So there were about the same number of houses on the market. It's grown just a smidge over the course of that year.
But 2021 is really interesting because if you go all the way back to that, we were down to 3,000, and it's 3,521. And that is a significant, almost 1,000 or 1,100 fewer homes on the market.
And then backing up back into 2020, you can see in September of 2020, there were 5,222 homes. So really what and then in the peak of the last year was May of 2020 when we had just over 6,100 homes. But I think what you see here is that as we were in that March, May of 2021 was when 2022 was when the interest rate started going up. Yep. And I think it has helped with inventory improving over that time.
So in this slide, the answer is the market slowing? The answer is no, because in 2023 of September, there's more than in 2022 and in 2021. So that is not slowing down.
Next slide. And this is closed transactions in Dallas County over the course of the last 2.5 to 3 years. And starting from that right-hand side, September of 2023, you can see there were 1,590 closings in that month.
And then if you look at September of 2022, you see that there was 1,963. So that is a bit of a dip.
And then I wanted to point out March of 2022, where there were 2,239 closings. Now, this was the point where interest rates were first starting to go up. It took March, April, and May for them to really get impacted. But you can see kind of where that tip of the iceberg is there that began the fall off.
Because rates didn't just automatically shoot up to 7. They actually hovered around 5.5, and that's when people got kind of shaky. If we go back and look at what the high was, because this is an interesting point, it was July of 2020, and there were 2,933 units that closed. So from this standpoint, if you look at September to July, actually that's almost half. So that is a dramatic shift in what we're seeing in the actual number of homes being closed.
And so for our next graph, this is going to be median sales price. And this is a really interesting one because it kind of shows you what our market's gone through just in the last 2.5 years. So September of 2023, the farthest on the right, the median sales price in Dallas County was $360. But then back up a year from that to September of 2022, and it was $350,000.
And when all the mayhem was going crazy in the summer of 2022, May had a high of $395,000. And this is when it was red hot, white hot, whatever you want to call it, but this is when things were going bananas.
And then let's go all the way over to the left, January of 2022, to kind of show you where this 2.5, 3 year period started. The median sales price was $238,000, meaning the median sales price in Dallas County has gone up by 60% in 2.5 years.
So if inventory is starting to slow, that has not had an impact on the appreciation, has it?
Not at all.
So we're going to draw a conclusion on that here in a little bit, but 60% is substantial.
And then the last slide we're going to look at is the median price per square foot. And this again, starting way over in September of 2023, the median sales price was dollar per square foot was $206 a square foot.
And in June of 2022, that was when there was actually the highest, and that was actually at $219 a square foot.
And backing up a year from that to May 2021, we were at $181 a square foot. And then coming all the way back down to January of 2020, where this begins, the median price per square foot for a home in Dallas County was $134 a square foot.
So can you imagine if people had waited in January of 2020, 2 years, 3 years to buy, what their capacity to buy would have been and how much it would have been impacted? And think about that. If you have an interest rate, you can actually refinance, but you can never strip out the appreciation that you didn't get and that you're paying for.
Yes, exactly.
And so if you look at the second to the last slide, it was already $10,000 an increase, and that's substantial, and we'll probably see that get a little bit higher by the end of December.
I would agree. And so we saw that again, while the number of houses that sold were off, the inventory is up and prices overall are up and the dollar per square foot is up.
Yes. So the long story is be conscientious of that. If you have an opportunity to buy, if you've got the 5% to get in. You can make a once a year. You can make a contribution to your principal and have it recast. And then when it's time to refinance, you can do that as well. But you're securing in today's prices.
So we hope you found this helpful. If you want us to narrow this data down to, we can even narrow it down to a zip code if you want to. We'd be happy to do it. Just reach out in the comments below.
And just remember, we want to be realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.